What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. This is a deck profile. This is my Swordsoul deck, and I want to tell everyone about how I play it, and I hope that that you guys like it as much as I do. So, without further ado, let's get right into the video. In this video, I'm not gonna break down every single card because there's a lot, and they do a lot of stuff. So, if anything, I'll try to say the names clearly and accurately so that way you guys can look it up and read the effects yourself. Well, first things first, we're going to start off the main bread and butter of the deck. Triple copies of Swordsoul of Moye. And what this card does, basically, most of these Swordsouls all have the same effect where they do something. And you can special summon a level 4 tuner, which is a token, and you basically can just synchro summon off of it. But this one's special effect is that if I normal or special summon it, I could reveal a worm or Swordsoul monster in my hand, and then I'm able to special summon a token. And if I do synchro these, I'm able to draw a card off of him being synchroed. So that's pretty cool. Next one. A lot of people run, well, this one actually, triple copies of Swordsoul Strategist Long Yang. This one, same thing. What his effect does is I can pitch a card from my hand that's a worm or Swordsoul. I can special summon him, and then I get a token as well. And his other effect is when I synchro summon him, if he goes into the graveyard, I can do automatically 1200 damage right off the bat. Now, people play this at 2. I like it at 3 because it is really not a brick, because you could still do stuff with it, but it's also essential just to have it as a backup. So, triple copies of Swordsoul of Taya. Now, you don't need to run it at 3. You can definitely run it at 2, but I like to run it at 3 in this build. So that's just my preference in my opinion. But again, you don't really need the third one, to be honest. He doesn't really do that much good anyways. So, the next 3 are triple copies of Adahara. These guys are pretty good. There's really not much to say about it. It is a level 1 tuner. They all these little Tenny monsters, they all do some special effects. You just do your own research on that. But triple copies of Ashuna. This one's a pretty good card. This one helps you set up plays and synchros. Now we're going for the 2 ofs. So I do double copies of Ecclesia. Now, I'm really considering of taking out a Taya and bumping this up to 3 because opening this does not matter because it helps you either way. But basically what it does is I can tribute this card and get any Swordsoul monster from my deck that I want, special summon it. And normally I just go for the Moye. But the other effect is if my opponent controls more monsters than I do, I can special summon it. So it's a free body. Double copies of Rashuda. You don't really need 3 of this. 2 is fine. I think 2 is perfect. Basically, if it's in the graveyard, you can banish it, target 1 card on the field, and return it to the opponent's hand. But you have to have a non-effect monster on the field. Now for the hand traps. I play 1 Ash. And again, it's in Korean or Japanese because I don't play locally. I don't play in tournaments. I play with my friends, and I already know what the effect does, and it was cheap, so... 1 Nibiru, 1 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, 1 Ghost Bell in the Haunted Mansion, and 1 Evict Failure. Those are my 5 hand traps that I run for the monsters. Okay? Now let's get into the spells. Now we're going to do again the 3 ofs. Triple copies of Swordsoul Emergence. This is basically your searcher for the deck. You can get pretty much any card that you need. You just use if you have this card in your deck. Also, if it gets banished, it has like a level manipulation. Same thing with this card I'm about to show you. Now we're getting into the double copies of Swordsoul Sacred Summit. This one's like your Monster Reborn for Swordsoul or Worm monsters, and it also has another alternative effect and level manipulation. To the one-ofs, I play one Call by the Grave. I play Vessel the Dragon Cycle, just one. I use it, but I don't use it enough for I need to. But basically, I just send a Worm monster from my deck to the graveyard, and if I have a face-up non-effect monster in the field, I can add another card to my hand with a different name, which is pretty cool. Harpy's Feather Duster, Monster Reborn, Change of Heart now since it's here. Raigeki, Crossout Designator, and I have Gold Sarcophagus. And Gold Sarcophagus is pretty good. I decided to add that to the deck because basically I can get any card from my deck, banish it for 2 turns, and then the second standby phase it goes to my hand. So if I need a Harpies, etc. Self-explanatory. Okay, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get right into the traps. We're not running too many traps. We're just running for my hand traps. That's all we're running is triple imperm. Okay, triple imperm. This is a hand trap. If they have a monster in the field and you control nothing, no face-up cards, I believe. Let me just reread it real quick. Sorry for anybody. I target one face-up monster your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end of this turn. Then if this card was set before activation on the field at resolution for the rest of the turn, all other spell and traps effects in this column are negated. So basically, if I set it, let's say this is the middle, and I activate it, he can't play anything in his middle column, and neither can I. And then, if I control no cards, yes, no cards, not face-up cards, I was thinking of heroes. No cards, I can activate this card from my hand. So basically, it's like a hand trap, like an Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler does the same thing, I just target somebody, but it's a quick effect. Then I play one Blackout and one 9 Pillars of the Yangzing. This is a good counter, but I was considering about taking it out because I don't really use it, but it's nice to have it, so I left it in there because I do have a Yangzing monsters, which I'll show you in a second. But that's it for the traps. Now we're going to the extra deck monsters. So we're gonna play double copies of the Tenai, Monk of the Tenai, one Clearwing, one Yazi, Evil of the Yangzing, one Adamancipator Dragite, one Chichao, that's the #1 person you want to use for combos, one Baxia of the Yangzing, Draco Berserker of the Tenai, one Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend, he pops all the special summon effect monsters, one Wolfrite, this is a pretty good card, one Xiao Fang Phantom of the Yangzing. Now we're getting to the big boys of the group. Swordsoul Sinister Sovereign. Swordsoul Sinister Sovereign. Man, say that 10 times fast. This is a substitute for Baron de Fleur, but once I get Baron, he will go away. But that's Satellite Warrior, but that will be for Baron. And then we're going to do one Swordsoul Supreme Sovereign, and then Geomathitech Final Sigma. Excuse me for the mispronunciation. Alright, so that's it for the extra deck, and hopefully this helps you guys out. Hopefully it makes you kind of interested, but most of these guys do special things which are pretty awesome. This is my version of my synchro deck. Everyone does everything differently. Again, I like to play it like this because it works for me. But yeah, if you guys are liking these videos, let me know, and maybe we can do a Utopia deck profile next. Until then, deuces.